Marshall D. Teach, also known as Blackbeard, is a worldwide threat. His bounty of 3,996,000,000 berries makes him one of the most feared people that has ever walked this earth. Starting out as a member of Whitebeard's crew, Teach betrayed his surrogate father and siblings when he killed Thatch to steal the powerful Yummy Nomi devil fruit. The Yummy Nomi is a Logia fruit that gives him the power of darkness. After Whitebeard's death, Blackbeard ate the ญัuⱠⱠ Nomi, the most powerful of all Paramecia types. The ญัuⱠⱠ Nomi grants him the ability to form and control all kinds of tremors, which holds the power to destroy the very world. Teach is the first and only known person to ever wield the powers of 2 devil fruits simultaneously, a feat attributed to his unique body structure, or maybe even more. This is what makes him so dangerous. This is why he needs to be stopped.
You can get it. Marvelous.
Yo, what's good? Welcome back to the channel, y'all. And look. Today is the day. Everybody in the past 2 to 3 weeks have been asking me for this video, and today is the day we actually pack up Marshall D. Teach, aka Blackbeard, gang. Let's get it. So Blackbeard is projected to be the best deck if we base all our statistics off of the East at the tail end of OP09 for them. Blackbeard had the most championship wins when OP09 ended. And pretty much Blackbeard is out here to spin the block and fuck yo bitch. So I think it's time we actually pack him out. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get straight to the content, gang. So what you guys see on the screen right now is the demon himself, the floodgate monster, the one that's here to turn off 90% of the current One Piece card game decks. Marshall D. Teach Blackbeard. Let's go ahead and read his effect. Your on-play abilities don't activate. At first glance, this looks kind of trash. Let's go ahead and read the rest of his effect. Activate main. You may trash 1 card from your hand until the end of your opponent's next turn. Your opponent's on-play abilities don't activate. So if you guys are brand new to the One Piece card game, I'm gonna let you know off rip, 80-90% of the cards in this game have on-play features. So that means this leader, Marshall D. Teach Blackbeard, turns off damn near almost the whole entire game. It's kind of cracked, kind of broken. We're gonna go over all these cards real quickly, and then we're gonna go over the key cards, and then we're gonna actually tell you guys color by color how we are going to beat this deck. Let's go ahead and start. So one more thing though, every single one of these cards either has a activate main, on KO, such as this, or while attacking effects, or just a blanket effect like the Jesus Burgers. So this whole entire deck, none of it uses on play, so no Gecko Moria, no Lucci, nothing crazy like that. We already talked about Marshall D. Teach. This is some cost reduction, this is some board removal, this is some cost reduction, and on KO you get to draw the card. This is your boss monster of your deck. This is a hand recycler. This is a free draw and cost reduction. This is your main source of board removal. Just a random blocker, you just need the extra protection. This is another boss monster. So the 2 biggest boss monsters of this deck are these 2 cards right here. We'll get into how to, pack them up later. This is a broken searcher that you can just activate every single turn. Board removal, Searcher. This is a negate and board removal within this particular Blackbeard deck, and this is the blanket stage, the Searcher for the deck. So we went over every single one of these cards. Let's go over the cards you guys need to actually take notice of, the cards you guys need to watch out for. So we already went over Marshall D. Teach. The main thing I'm going to tell you guys about a lot of these cards is that if you guys see any of these cards on board, you guys see any of these cards, you just need to remove them as soon as possible. Mainly this Burgess, okay? Burgess and Blackbeard are your main boss monsters in this particular deck. You guys remove these cards, you pretty much just win the game. Fact, not an opinion. Fact. Just to sum it up, if you guys see any of these cards on board, get rid of them throughout the whole entire process of the game, okay? So these are the cards you need to look out for. If you guys don't know what they do, just go ahead and read them, but all in all, just get rid of them if you guys see these cards on the field. So outside the cards, you guys just need to remove. The other card that you guys need to really look out for is this particular card, Liberation. You get to negate in character on your opponent's side of the field if you have the Blackbeard's tights, which you do in the Blackbeard leader, and if you do, you get to have a pop of a 4 cost or less. So this is a Rocket D Luffy with a negate on board when it comes to all your characters on the field. Very shice to my personal opinion. So we already talked enough. How do you beat this deck? We're gonna go over with every single color on how you really beat this deck. But all in all, the first way to beat this deck is to make this deck go first. Okay, the biggest gist of this deck is playing this on curve, These two cards mainly, they really just thrive off these two cards, and the last thing you want to do is help them achieve getting to these cards as fast as possible. So the first thing you need to do is always grab second, always make Blackbeard go first. The second way to beat this deck is to swarm the board, aggression, go really wide with your board state. Okay, so if you're playing and you aren't playing a red that can rush, it does not matter. I don't care if you're sending out a character with 1,000 power, you know, shooting out cotton balls at Blackbeard. Just swarm the board as many characters as you can, so late game when it's time for you to attack, to apply pressure, to whittle down their hand, they can use all their resources by countering. So when it's time for late game, they automatically lose if you guys end up removing this Marshall D. Teach. And this Burgess, the biggest thing about this deck is hand control. So that's the reason why it's always important to rush and to go very wide, is to apply pressure on that hand so they can have 1 to 2 cards. So late game, they can't do shit, okay? Even if they activate their effect, if they have no cards in hand, it doesn't even matter, all right? The third best way to beat this deck, and which is the main way, is board removal. When I say board removal, I'm not specifically just talking about activate mains, because these are pretty, you know, easy to get rid of. The main cards to get rid of are these two cards. You get rid of these two cards on board for the Blackbeard Pirates, they automatically lose. The main card for this card and this card, let's go over it every single one of these decks. So usually when I make these type of how to beat videos, I just tell you a blanket obvious way to beat the deck, but since every single deck plays a little bit differently against this particular leader, since it is so unique, we are going to go through every single color and how you guys beat this deck color for color. So for right now, let's talk about red. How does red beat Marshall D. Teach? So red has literally 2 ways to beat Marshall D. Teach. Either you play a very fast-paced aggro deck, such as a Zoro deck, or maybe Bello Betty. Bello Betty is really, really good just because, you know, you get a blanket effect, a power boost to everything on the board that has a trigger. And pretty much you don't even need your on play, and you also abuse your life for the trigger, and that isn't affected as well. You can play the Sanji as a red deck if you are specifically just trying to counter this deck, or if you're playing Shanks, which will more likely be the most popular red deck out there in the meta. There's a couple ways you can beat this deck. First off, rush the board just like all the previous red decks I said, and try to get them to around 1 or 0 by the time they get to the 10 drop Marshall D. Teach, because if you can get their life all the way down to 1 or 0, by the time you bring out that 10 drop Gold D. Roger, when you use that Gold D. Roger, it doesn't matter if Marshall D. Teach is even on the board, because if he activates blocker and he has 0 life, or you have 0 life, you automatically just win the game. So for my blue, it's really easy for blue players. Red Rock and Gravity Blade. Red Rock gets rid of this Marshall D. Teach, and Burgess gets his shit pushed in by the gravity blade. So now we have green. Green, you guys kind of have a decent matchup into Blackbeard just because the straw sword rests up to one of your opponent's characters. A blanket rests one of your opponent's characters. No cost stipulation around it. Just blanket rests one of your characters. So you can rest the Burgess, you can rest the Marshall D. Teach, and then you know, a lot of your characters do have that on play to where you have to KO something such as the Shanks or the lock them down such as the Dofi. So you guys are just gonna have to straight just tack into it to get it off the board. Get off the Burgess and the Blackbeard off the board. Just make sure you rest it, whether it be a Bonnie's effect, Straw Sword, Basil Hawking's effect. If you ever trigger that off, get them sideways so you can attack into them to get them off the board. For yellow, you have Kingdom Come. Kingdom Come really just gets rid of this Marshall D. Teach, and besides Kingdom Come, there's really no other way to get rid of this Jesus Burgess until OP10 with the X Drake. So for right now, just focus on swarming the board and getting rid of this big body in this Marshall D. Teach. So the next color we're gonna speak on is black. So black has a few ways to still have some board removal, even if all your on plays are turned off, with the Ice Sages, the Toy Soldiers, the Tempest Kicks, the Jacks. Jack's really going to be your main way of you know, type of board removal against this particular deck, especially if he does use that effect where it turns off all your on plays. So Lucci's turned off, Gecko's turned off. And the last card that I see teched in a lot of black decks moving forward with OP09 is the 9-drop Kaido, because it does trash. It does just send a card from the field to the trash, so you're really just getting rid of the Burgess. But if you guys do want to have some type of cost manipulation going on, you're gonna have to use your Tempest Kicks, your Toy Soldiers, your Ice Sages, things like that, and then pop it with the Jack, just because the Jack has activate main. Now the last color we have is purple. There's only one real way to really remove any of these cards in the purple deck, and that is Bond Clay. When you attack, you just copy their power, and then just to start attaching some Dawn, a whole bunch of Dawn onto that Bond Clay to get rid of these bigger bodies. And besides that, I checked the streets, and I haven't seen any type of mass board removal for these particular cards. So the main way you're really gonna have to, you know, get rid of these cards is just ramping up your deck, you know, getting your Dawn ahead of this Blackbeard Pirates deck to bring out your bigger bodies, and to drop the Bond Clay to get rid of this Marshall D. Teach, and especially this Burgess. Look, I gotta keep it 100 with y'all. This is the best deck in the format, but it is also the hardest deck in the format to use. So, you know, don't get down on yourself if you're playing against it. More likely the person sitting in front of you is going to choke anyways, so it does not matter. The only thing you need to do is follow everything I just told you to do for every single one of these colors, and hopefully you can pack out this tier 1 Marshall D. Teach Blackbeard type deck. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get straight to the gameplay, gang. Let's get it. So we are back. No YGO the Anthem, no edits, straight gameplay. We're not trying to lose. Let's see if everything we just said on how to beat this deck actually works. Our turn, go out to the Flampy, go out to the Garp, just because he did not negate all of our on play effects, so pass to him. Every time he does not use his on play ability, you guys have to abuse all your on play abilities, you know, early game, because if you don't, by the time it's your 3rd or 4th or 5th turn, you'll never be able to use it on play again. So that's the reason why I went to Garp and Flampy off rip. He goes out to the stage. He actually did use his character searcher, his Lafitte. I think that I forgot. I don't even know how to say his name. Lafitte. I don't understand how to say his name. All good. You can care less about his name. You need to just get this card off the board. Our turn, 4 Dawn. Just go ahead and attack into this. He's not gonna give us a counter. He only has 5 cards in hand. Cool. We could go to the Makino, but do we want to? Let's just go wide, like I initially said at the beginning of the video. Go wide, and since we actually went wide, we actually got the Kingdom Come. We're gonna attack at life, and he actually takes. We actually got the Kingdom Come. This is actually going to be critical for next turn. Use the stage effect. He'll attack my Garp. He brings out the Burgess. All good. Our turn. We can still use our on-play abilities, so what should we do? Should we just rush him? No, we can't use the ace, huh? Attack at face at 6. And let's just go straight into a Luffy. Maybe I should have went into the Sabo. But if I went to the Sabo, I'll still be at like 3 life. I need to get down to at least 2, so if I do get some triggers, they will activate. I guess triggers activate all. I mean, the only trigger I do have is Luffy's gonna activate anyways. Is he actually gonna do the Laboon and Don Q to pop my Luffy? Actually, man, this is why, if you guys are wondering why Laboon went up, this is why. This is their main source of cost reduction for board removal for Don Q. Our turn, he actually started using his effects, so we can't use on-play abilities. He has this Laboon on board. Attacking the Don Q, make him give us a 2K. He's gonna let that go down 100%. Let's see. Just go to another Luffy, I guess. Yeah, we just go to another Luffy. Let's attack first, though. Leave our Kuzan standing, because I don't want Kuzan coming off the field. There we go. And then let's go straight to Luffy, bring down our life. Hopefully we can see one more power up Luffy so we can start using our leader effect. He goes out into the Flampy, that's fine. Use the stage. And he goes out into another Laboon, Don Q. Here we go, ahead, bring the pussy out. There he is. Oh shit. Damn, he just did that 2 times in a row. This guy's drawing the nuts. I won't be surprised he has like 2 Blackbeards in his hand. He actually goes out to the blocker. This guy's just drawing almost perfect. This guy's almost drawing perfect, to be honest with you, but hey, we got to play through it. Can't use on-play abilities. We're at 10 Don. Still have this Kuzan on board. We have to get rid of this Laboon. That's one thing we do have to get rid of. So do we just go into Ace? No, Sabo and Ace. I think we just go into Sabo Ace, right? Or do we wait? We could just attack. Let's just put 2 on Kuzan. I don't really care about the Don Q. He has no way to do some cost reduction. Attack this Laboon. He actually lets it go down. That's fine. And then we're gonna put 3 on Luffy. Attack at life. Probably gonna let this go through. Not trying to burn his hand. That's fine. It's his turn. So next turn, the ideal play is probably to try going to this Ace. Or if we could lose our life, we can really start cycling and going crazy. Sit at 9K. We'll actually start looking really good. Uses leader ability. Drops the Kaido. I'm actually surprised he's actually even running this. Maybe he's opting this instead of the Jack. Wonder why he's using this. Maybe for the mirror? I know it's activate main, but I don't know why you run that instead of Jack. I would think Jack is definitely... Well, Jack does pop and that trashes, so I guess. He attacks at 5. We always counter out. We need to keep our Kuzan alive. Let's see if he attacks with his Burgess. Guess he's thinking. He's on 10 down though. He could drop the Blackbeard. He attacks at 8. Counter out of this because we definitely need this on field just for some board presence. And then he brings out the big boy himself. Marshall DT's the 10 drop, nullifying my leader's ability just for this turn. And then he also locks me down with the fucking effect of the leader. Doesn't matter. We're going to use our Kingdom Come. And then we're not even gonna worry. Should we try to attack? No, 4. That's kind of, we're gonna be attacking at 9. He definitely has, and he has a blocker. So let's just attack at life. He truly only has 2 attacks anyways, and I got a blocker. Like he needs 3 attacks. Truthfully, his turn. Use the stage again. So he's running out of cards. He actually goes out into another Marshall D Teach 10 drop. I'm telling you, this deck is almost like Charlotte Linland, where you just keep on, you know, steamrolling those Charlotte Linlands out of your whole entire deck. But like I said, if you get rid of the 10 drop Blackbeard, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to win the game. Attacks at 5, counter out, just so he can't try to, you know, empty my hand with the Burgess. That's fine. Our turn. I think we just go straight into Sabo Ace, attack at 5. We probably don't even, no reason to attack. Yeah, let's just set up our board, start going extremely wide here, applying some pressure. Because even if he does go into another Blackbeard or anything, if he tries to attack and we have another Sabo on board, he would need the Laboon and he would just need the Laboon. He ain't going in Laboon. I mean, there's no point of even attacking. He's just going to block. So we are swarming the board, and we're actually in a great position here. You just have to get rid of this 10 drop Marshall D Teach. This is his second one as well. And he also has one other Burgess. I think he has 2 in the trash. So that means he only has 1 Burgess left. See what he does though. 3 cards left in hand. Attacks, we're gonna block. He goes out in the Burgess. Attacks at 11. We always take this. We always take this. We actually just get a crazy trigger. That's actually, I think we might just win the game now. Get rid of this. That was a crazy trigger. Look, when it's time for us to win, it's time for us to win. That was literally a crazy trigger. That might have just sealed us the game. Let's see what we draw. And we actually get the, yeah, we definitely won. I just got 2 crazy broken draws. I ain't gonna hold you. I just drew the nuts. Let's get rid of this other Marshall D Teach. And like I said earlier, if you get rid of that Marshall D Teach, more than likely it's going to be game. So let's attack at 5. Make him give us a 2K. Gives us a 2K. Attack at 6. Make him give us a 2K. Gives us the other 2K. That's fine. So attack at 7. And then we're just gonna put the 4 rest of our Don onto Luffy. He used Liberation. That's fine. Attack at life at 9. Should be game. Yeah, it is game. There's no way. Yeah, GG gang. Good game. Good game, fam. So this is how you beat Blackbeard. Exactly how I told you in the beginning of the video. Swarm the board, apply pressure, get rid of the 10 drop. Mainly a 10 drop Blackbeard, they literally just lose. The Burgess is on field with 6,000 powder. Didn't even matter. The fact that I got rid of his boss monster in the 10 drop Teach, he pretty much just lost. Pretty much follow everything what I said in the beginning of the video, and you should be in a good position to win the matchup against Blackbeard. Hey, that's all I got. But look, before I go, if you enjoying the vibes, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, go.